Hey guys, welcome back.
What up?
Another episode of Our Three Cents, another in the Trey Parker and Matt Stone series that we're going to review.
BASEketball!
Yep.
We're going to talk about sports movies, which we know not much about sports, but we know a bitchload about movies.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah, so BASEketball, about a couple of kids who invent a brand new game to impress the girls. But then it doesn't work, because they're not wearing Dockers.
Mm-hmm.
They combine the best of basketball and baseball. Hence the name BASEketball. Yeah,
I like that. That was good.
that was good.
Yeah. Very nice.
So, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, obviously the stars of this. This was actually their very first real big studio movie.
Yeah.
Universal put this out. And it's like, this is like the introduction into like the big time.
Mm-hmm.
And actually they make a mention, they make a reference, well not even a reference, but a line making fun of themselves in it. It's like, what, you're such a big shot, you're going to be acting in a big Hollywood movie?
Sell out.
And he just looks right at the camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yep, we sold out.
Again, more breakdowns of the fourth wall. Not a lot in this, but a couple.
Yeah.
A couple of little things. But it's a typical Matt Stone and Trey Parker movie. They make fun of themselves and make fun of everybody.
Everybody.
Because that's always been their creed.
This is, if it wasn't making fun before, this is where they really start not caring about who they offend.
Yep.
All you have to do is just look at the teams' names in this flick. We got the Milwaukee Beers, and everybody drinks Coors beer.
Yep. The New Jersey Informants.
Because the Mafia.
Yeah.
We got the Dallas Felons.
Yeah.
Because apparently, according to them, everybody who lives in Dallas are felons. Which I'm not so sure about, considering we live an hour from there. I'm not sure if I want some felons coming over here and say, "You made fun of my city."
I'd say 50%.
50% will make fun of us.
No,
Come and get us.
50% of Dallas is probably felons. That's what I'm saying. What was what was San Antonio's? San Antonio Defenders.
The Miami Dealers.
Mm-hmm. LA Riots.
San Francisco Ferries. But Ferries was not spelled like ferries. It was spelled Ferrys, like the boat. Nice little play on words. Even though their cheerleaders were all guys.
Yeah.
Muscular
Chippendales.
Chippendale type. But the Roswell Aliens.
Yep.
And who was the very last one? The Lemons. The Detroit Lemons.
Detroit Lemons, yes.
So,
and there was a team from Las Vegas that they didn't mention who they were, but they had strippers for their cheerleaders. Because of course.
Vegas.
Because Vegas. Yeah.
And so by this, you can tell that they were really punching some stereotypes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So much. Oh my
just
gosh.
the psych outs they used on him. Like in Miami, he just walked up wearing an FBI jacket.
Mm-hmm. That one was a good one.
Oh, and sorry to explain, psych outs is how you get the opponent to miss, and if they miss the basket, they get it out.
Yeah.
I guess we didn't really explain the rules to BASEketball, but
because we don't even know them all, because they explain most of them in the movie, but there's probably a lot of subtle ones that you don't get.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
the whole point is to psych them out.
Mm-hmm. using whatever means you can.
necessary.
Yeah. And some of them were great.
Whether it be a tape of the Horse Whisperer, audiobook of the Horse Whisperer, eating foil,
Drinking Marlon Brando's liposuction, that one was good.
face masks.
And I love how they did that against the New Jersey team.
Yeah. Again, stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
They are just ripping into everybody, and they don't care.
Obviously, Matt Stone and Trey Parker play the two main characters who have been friends since they were little kids, and they create this game on the fly at a high school reunion party type thing. And they're doing it to try to impress this girl that they went to high school with. They end up winning the game, obviously, because they're making up the rules as they go along. And they still don't get the girls. But they decide to continue with the game in their own driveway, and it starts to become really popular in their neighborhood, and eventually they make a national BASEketball league. Because in the timeline for this movie, sports have gone
Stupid.
Yeah. All sports. All sports.
Imagine the ridiculousness of it and the commercialness of it now, of sports now, because I love baseball, but I hate how corporate it's become.
Yeah.
And that's not something out of the movie. That's my own personal opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're both baseball fans. You know, we're Ranger supporters, but it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
It really is.
But that's a tangent for another time.
Yeah.
That's an out of the box, or
Yeah, maybe we'll get on that someday.
maybe we'll get on that someday. Yeah. But anyway, it's gotten so bad that they've tried intersports play where they're mixing baseball and football.
Which would be awesome.
But I mean, pretty much it ended up. That's what this was mixing sports. But they're not doing it to get fans. They're doing it just because they have, a desire to play a fun game, a game where everybody's the same, anybody can play. And actually, I'm looking in trivia right now. David Zucker, the guy who directed it, of Naked Gun fame, he actually invented this game in his driveway when he was a kid. And a lot of the people that are players in it were actually friends of his.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And there's a lot of references to actual events or other things in this.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, Coop, Trey Parker, is there's a scene where he's going to hit 3 home runs, which is basically just 3 very long baskets, for this kid who's sick and who's having a liver transplant. And that's actually taking out of something in history, which is true. It's based on a story that Babe Ruth did this exact same thing for a kid.
Yep.
And so
it's a nice little nod.
it is a nice little nod.
I actually didn't know that one. I figured that it was just a reference to Reggie Jackson's 3 home runs. I mean, it's probably a play on that too.
Yeah.
But since that event was so crucial in the story,
Mm-hmm.
When Trey Parker's character Coop was a little kid, he saw the Yankees against the Dodgers in the World Series, and Reggie Jackson hit 3 home runs in one game, and he caught the 3rd one. And that was his inspiration for wanting to be a sports star or wanting to open a sports bar.
Yeah.
Whichever way it was going.
And Reggie Jackson actually makes an appearance in it. It's not just an archival footage, but he actually shows up in this movie. And there is a ton of sports people in this flick.
Oh, so many.
I mean, there's just a ton of just little cameos.
There's a lot of people playing themselves.
Bob Costas, Al Michaels of, Sports Center. We got Robert Stack, host of Unsolved Mysteries.
best part of this whole movie.
Is hosting an unsolved mystery
Mm-hmm.
in this. Reggie Jackson, which you've already mentioned, Dan Patrick of
ABC Sports.
ABC Sports. We got Tim McCarver, famous baseball player. He now does his own TV show. Pat O'Brien, Jim Lampe, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who plays himself.
Siegfried Roy.
Victoria Silvstedt, Playmate of the Year. Playing Victoria Silvstedt, Playmate of the Year. Naked in a hot tub. Yeah. And one of my favorite ones that I thought was a nice little nod, before he died, Dale Earnhardt, playing a cab driver with the big number 3 on the door. We also got
Jenny McCarthy.
Ernest
Borgnine,
which was, I think, was 100. This was actually his 100th film.
No, that's the other guy.
Robert Vaughn. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. No, Ernest Borgnine's been in probably like 300-400 stuff.
Well, no, at this time, because this was in 1997. Trey Parker, Matt Stone, of course. Dean Basher, as we mentioned before, Dean Basher plays a pretty big part in this as Squeak Little Bitch Scolari.
Yep.
And Yasmine Bleeth. Oh, Yasmine Bleeth.
One of the best parts of this movie.
Because she's so hot. And we all love Yasmine Bleeth.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't love Yasmine Bleeth? God. Best part of Baywatch. Besides the Hoff.
Yeah. But she was the best part for a different reason.
Yeah. This is a movie that likes to make fun of other movies a lot. There's a lot of little references that actually, a lot of them I didn't notice until this watch through. And I've seen this movie probably 20 times, but it's just little stuff that you don't really completely pay attention to, but just little throw-ins, a couple of Star Trek references, just a Titanic reference, which I didn't get the Titanic reference until this time. I was like, oh, it's a nice Titanic reference. I never got that before. But
The Natural.
Yeah.
It borrowed heavily from The Natural.
Including the music.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of surprised at. Which is kind of surprising.
It's Coop makes his own ball, which pops in the big climatic game, and the little kid, he brings a ball, just like the Bat Boy brought
his homemade bat. Was it one? It's my personal favorite out of all the Stone and Parker movies.
Yeah, it's so good. This is actually one of the ones that are not as well known. I like this one the best because I think it's because it's the cleanest and it's a lot more polished.
Yeah, it was.
Like I said, this was their first big studio hit.
It was the first time that they had some money, to be able to do anything. And considering that this wasn't, they weren't directing, they were really only starring in this, it very much fits in with the type of stuff that they do. I'm sure that they were able to have a little bit of say on some stuff, but
they could focus on just the acting.
Yeah, they got signed on to this, and the reason why they signed to do this was because this was in 1997, and they thought that by the time this movie got shot, South Park would have already been canceled. Even though South Park started in 97, they didn't think that they were going to last past the first season, and now it's been 17 years. And so they signed on to do this movie, and then South Park got picked up for a second season, so they were doing this and the show at the same time.
And there's actually a couple of South Park references in there, which, at the time, you might not have picked up on.
Nobody.
If you hadn't
probably
seen
a
South
lot
Park.
of people didn't really know because a lot of people weren't watching South Park when it first started.
Right. You got Mr. Mackey
Mm-hmm.
is in there. Cartman's in there. And I think there's one more, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
I'm not sure. Mr. Garrison, maybe?
It might have been Mr. Garrison, yeah. But when he tells that guy, just call him fat, but just be real subtle about it. He goes, "Hey, you guys are fat, 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 fat." I cracked up the first time I'd seen that because I saw this for the first time like way after I started watching South Park. This was a long time.
Yeah.
I was like, it's Cartman! It's Mr. Garrison!
Yeah. You can really tell. I like that they like to make subtle nods to where they came from, to where they really got started with all their stuff. Even in Orgasmo, there were some South Park style references, not quite as much, even though they hadn't really started with South Park yet.
Yeah.
All they had done was The Spirit of Christmas, but that was their real beginning.
Yeah.
So,
really, really funny movie.
yes.
I mean, if you're a fan of the irreverent humor of Trey Parker and Matt Stone, this is right up your alley. It's very it's too funny.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's not quite as
Harsh.
as a lot of their stuff. That's a good word.
Yeah.
It's
More subtle.
Yeah, it's still dirty humor, but it's maybe not quite as dirty.
Right.
As our mom would say, there was only a little bit of poop in the brownies.
So So definitely give it a check out. I mean, it's been out long enough. I mean, if you're a fan of them, you probably have already seen it. If you're a fan of sports movies in general, it's a good one to pick up.
Yes,
and check it out because it's got a lot of the same moral values, and I mean, it's the same storyline as a lot of sports movies. It really is.
Yeah, it's a movie that stands alone as a sports movie and as a comedy and as whatever you want to classify their movies as, often their own little section in the corner of the store.
Mm-hmm.
But it stands alone as a lot of different things.
So definitely worth it. Definitely worth a view.
Yes.
So I'll wrap it up. Tune in next time for a special episode of Our 3 Cents.
Yes, we have something a little different
Planned. And
So-
it'll turn out pretty good. And I know it will because we've already shot it.
Yeah.
And so, thanks for watching. Thanks for sitting through this one. I know we kind of bumbled and fumbled through this one a little bit, but
Yeah, it's been a long day for both of
it's
us.
a very long day and it's late at night. So,
Yeah. Stay tuned next time for,
well, we won't say.
well,
We've kind of let some hints on if you follow us on Facebook. But
even what's the next?
the next Trey and Matt
South
movie.
Park, right?
No, it's yeah, it is South Park actually.
South Park
My
bigger,
fault.
longer, and uncut. So this will be a fun one. I'm sure that he'll have some stories about it. I won't, because I didn't see it until like probably 4 or 5 years after it came out.
So thanks for watching. Blessed be.